Welcome to the newest unboxing right here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Yeah, that's as close as I get to the ALF voice. Not very good, but I thought it would be fun to throw a puppet into the review. That puppet, also by NECA. Actually, you know what? Let's take a look at this guy. Since we're here, why not? Really nice, just very simple hand puppet. Very well done, like high quality kind of thing you would find at like Art Explosion back in the 80s, if that means anything to anybody. He's got his little tuft of hair, looks great. He's got his eyebrows, very simple, just bead eyes going on there. Motion works very, very well. The snout and it's very comfortable to use. Very comfortable to use. It's been a long time since I've done any puppetry. Nice embroidered nostrils. They're not just like felt stick-ons. He's got arms. Everything's great. This is a fantastic puppet. If you see one, I highly recommend you get it. And, well, if you're an ALF fan. If you're not an ALF fan, I don't know what's wrong with you. But he's great. I found him in Target. And I've seen him from time to time since then. But he definitely made it way before the subject of today's review, the ALF action figure, ultimate action figure from NECA. I'm trying to get myself seated here without causing too much of a ruckus. I loved ALF back in the day. The television show I thought was the funniest thing in the world. I love, oh, look, someone with taste. That's great. That's very ALF-like. Packaging, very 80s looking. Bright colors. And what's cool about this is it's ALF. You see the feet. It's a full body ALF. In the show, most of the time, you're just seeing sort of the top portion of the puppet. But this is an ultimate ALF figure. It's very exciting. So, all right, ALF. ALF crash-landed through the roof of the Tanner family's garage and square into the hearts and homes of America's television viewers. This short, furry alien life form, by the way, that's what ALF stands for, alien life form, quickly surprised everyone with his perfect English, urbane wit, and unusual customs and habits. And by the way, real name, Gordon Shumway. We've got everything that's included down here on the bottom. You've got the credits for the people at NECA who brought this piece of art to life. And then the front panel, you've got a window that opens up to reveal the figure, everything that's in there, which this is loaded with accessories. And I almost feel like NECA really loaded this one up because they were like, look, this may be the only time we get to do an ALF. Let's make sure everything is in there. So let's open this guy up. I think ALF is available on, might be Peacock. I think it might be on Tubi. But I mean, you guys know how to use Google. You can find ALF streaming. I don't necessarily recommend you watch the first episodes. Just find one that the episode description sounds interesting to you and go in there and check it out. And keep in mind, as you're thinking about my fandom for ALF, I was a kid. Look at the ALF footprints in the background. Very 80s design. This is the kind of thing that you might find a shirt of nowadays. All right. That was everything arranged. No tape on the top tray. Oh, interesting. Okay. So this isn't like a Mezco figure. This is just like literally a panel holding the accessories in place and showing the figure. So let's see the best way to do this. I'm going to turn that over. There's the Soft Goods Hawaiian shirt. The Hawaiian shirts are kind of a trademark of ALF. As a matter of fact, I've got another ALF puppet. I'm not sure where it is right now. That was, I think, a Burger King premium with a Hawaiian shirt and sunglasses, but it is a different colored Hawaiian shirt. It's actually, if I'm thinking right, it's actually kind of similar to Chuckles from G.I. Joe. I believe it's like a blue and pink. So there's that. We'll take a look at that again in a minute. And right now, we're going to cut through all of these darn plastic string things. They are the worst. So ALF was on television on NBC sometime in the 80s. I would like to give you a closer year, but you know I don't sit down and Google everything before I do these reviews, because I am here to discuss whether or not this is a great toy, not to give you a history of ALF. And actually, if you want a history of ALF, I bet you can go check it out on, well, it's not Toy Galaxy anymore. What is it, Secret Galaxy now? I bet there's a great history of ALF on there. I feel like I even remember watching it at some point. All right. Oh, look at him. I love the unique proportions of this guy. And the fact, like, if you go to, let's set our accessories to the side for a moment. Look up the history of the puppeteer, of the puppet itself. There's a lot of fascinating stuff behind ALF and how the show happened and what went down. So we do have an articulated jaw. It does not close completely because it is very rare for ALF's mouth to ever really close completely. You've got a nice, look at that. It's actually, there's expressiveness within the movement of the top portion of his head. So this is a separate piece. The jaw is a separate piece. So you can get some really interesting expressions based on how these move independently of one another. Very interesting. And then you've got a ball joint at the base of the neck, a ball joint. Well, okay, so no, there's the ball joint at the base of the neck is it, which obviously it's sufficient to what you want for posability, and then the rest of the joints are just the independent pieces of the head, which is incredible. He's got his trademark, almost sort of flock of seagulls looking bangs up there. You can see the gloss in the eyes. Eyelids are sculpted in. He's got his big eyebrows, the ears. The sculpt is phenomenal. And then articulation-wise, we've got a great joint up here. Oh, wow. That's actually an incredible joint. The upper abdomen, the lower abdomen. Well, and I guess this is probably making up for there not being any kind of waist joint. So if he's going to sit down, I don't know if he can sit down really. So you can see you've got sort of standard hip joints there, but those are not going to move enough. As far as sitting down, that's really as close as you're going to get. Which, not bad, but it is interesting considering how much time the character did spend sitting down. Look, he's got his sculpted pads on the bottom of his feet. He does have peg holes. He's got the double jointed arms in the way that NECA does them now, with like literally an elbow piece. But it gives you that nice range that everybody likes to have. The shoulder is simple. There's not a bicep swivel, but there is a swivel here at the top of the elbow. It doesn't have a tremendous range, but ALF is not Spider-Man. I say this all the time. So-and-so is not Spider-Man. But it's a fact. Most action figures do not need as much articulation as they have. Everything's moving really nicely. I mentioned, if you watch my Warduke review from probably last week, I noted that NECA has really gotten a handle on the types of plastics they're using and on how well the joints function and work, and that it's been a while since I've been too I'm always careful, but it's been a while since I've been too terribly nervous about moving NECA joints, because they really have upped the quality and functionality of their products. Everything looks great. It's funny how similar he is in some ways to Chewbacca like figures. The way that they've layered the hair at the articulation, very nicely done. So he's nice and thick. I don't have an... Oh, wait, I do have a NECA figure to stand him next to. So if you want height-wise, he is about 6 inches tall. Our standard go-to regular old figure, 00 Snake Eyes, slightly taller than ALF. And then if you want to compare him to a NECA figure to know what he's going to look like on your NECA shelf, because that's where I'm putting mine, there is Officer Murphy, and you can see that ALF is pretty much the right height. That's about what he should be. I'm going to go ahead and say it is what he should be, because I'm sure NECA knows better than I do. In my memory, like, he's more like this, but honestly, I don't know that that's really accurate. He may be like almost to a human shoulder. Well, I'm sure he is, because as I said, I'm sure NECA is more correct about that than I am. He does have his tail back here, and that is a, kind of surprisingly, that is a hard plastic piece. It's not part of this lower, all of his fur is like a softer, more flexible plastic, but the tail is hard plastic. Very interesting. Look at his big toenails here. He's fantastic. This is absolutely wonderful. I couldn't be happier to have an ALF figure. His ankles, you can't really see what's going on. Oh, you can. Gosh, I don't know if you guys can see it or not. There is actually a hinge in there. If you can see it. It doesn't have a ton of movement, but it has a little. Very nice. All right, so there is the figure with his big giant feet. He stands up very nicely. He looks great. Let's take a look at the accessories. I want to get this shirt on him. I want to see how well the shirt works. I bet I'm going to have to take his hands off to get it on. Hopefully we've got big, thick pegs on those hands. Yes, we do. Right, there we go. Oh, look, he's got the pad on his hand as well, right there. NECA is just wonderful. Sometimes I feel like I'm not as high on NECA as I should be, just because of some issues that they've had. Because I've been collecting NECA since the company started, and it has been, I'm not going to lie, a little bit of a rough road sometimes. There have been some things that they've done, the way that they've made stuff, the fragility of past releases. You know, it has been at times a struggle to love NECA. But I feel like they're in this golden place right now where everything they're putting out they're just killing it. It's all just the best stuff ever. So I'm going to try and be a little better about giving NECA their props. Look at that. Shirt fits wonderfully. The bottom doesn't quite line up right, but whatever. You can move the Velcro down just a little bit and get it to line up there. Looks great. Even looks good with the button right here. The collar is fantastic. That is one of the most common issues on soft goods shirts, is getting the collars to look right. And NECA's done a great job of it here. This looks great. I love this shirt on him. I'm probably putting him on the shelf like this. All right, let's set Gordon to the side and take a look at his accessories, which is, I mean, he's got to have one of the highest accessory counts of NECA's regular Ultimates releases. Is that everything? That is everything. All right. We'll start with the most boring items, and yet some of the most important, the alternate hands. You've got large, let's see here. All right. You've got a large C grip. You've got pointing C grips. but pointing hands, very expressive and nice. You've got a different style C-grip, and then a smaller, tighter C-grip. So something to interact with all of the accessories. It looks like they've covered all their bases. I've got a great looking bowl of popcorn. Now, some of these accessories, I imagine, have been included with others. Like, I think this bowl of popcorn could have potentially been with a gremlin or something. I don't know. But it looks incredible. I mean, look at, you can even see the kernels are painted in there. Let me see if I can get my light in a little better spot so you guys can really see the detail there. Sometimes it's hard to tell what's coming through on the camera and what's not. But the sculpt is unbelievable. All of the little kernels are painted. And then you've got a really nice, smooth, glossy bowl as well. This is a wonderful, wonderful accessory. A can of not Pepsi, of Fusco. So this will go in the large C-grip hand. And you can see they've actually sculpted the can open, which is a nice touch. Looks great. A bag of, okay, looks like broccoli, but I'm betting it's not. I'm sure it's episode specific. Let's take a look and see what we've got here. A bag of slime balls. I do not specifically remember the slime balls' place in ALF mythology. Are they something he coughs up? I don't remember. Maybe I'll go look it up when I'm done here. Or I'll just hope one of you guys tells me in the comments, because I'd love to hear what you remember of the slime balls. More of the bag of slime balls. You have... Whoop. A framed portrait with, by the way, so that's not actually functional, because the whole point is when you pick up, this back piece would still be on there when he picks this up to look at it. I want to say that's his dad, maybe. It just says picture frame. But I want to say that's Alf's dad. I'm not positive. Again, tell me in the comments. That's one of the reasons I don't sit down and look everything up and get all the knowledge is because I want to hear from you guys. Let me know. Mansplain to me what some of these things are. Now, this, I know, is a ham radio. This is another just great, bizarre... How many pieces of... Oh, that handle just popped out right there. And I'm sorry, that's not the handle, it's the stand. It actually goes like that. How many pieces of primitive 80s tech has NECA produced now? Televisions, radios, all kinds of weird things. Somebody has a blast at NECA making this stuff. Really just fantastic detailing. All right. And then finally, oh no, wait. We've got his sunglasses, because Alf is a cool guy. Ooh, these might be a little tricky to get on. How's this going to work? Over his hair, or under his hair. There is the smallest slot between his hair and his ear. I don't know if you guys can see it. That it looks like the arm of the sunglasses is supposed to go through there. Right there. They might just sit like that. That might be as far back as they go. That doesn't look quite right, though, does it? Let's see. We don't... Oh, there's the sunglass image on the box. I mean, that's kind of how it looks. I might have to play around with that a little bit more. But I mean, there's definitely an intentional slot right there, if you can see between the ear and the hair, that I believe that arm is supposed to go through. It's just going to be tricky getting it through there just right. And I'm definitely a little concerned about just breaking the sunglasses. So I'm not going to mess with that anymore. Sunglasses look good. You've got glossy lenses on them, which is always a nice thing to see. They're not translucent, but that's okay. Because these kind, don't need to be. These are like Wayfarers. And then finally, the wildest, most hilarious accessory in the set, the cat sandwich. Because, of course, Alf eats cats. And this cat is A-okay. This is not a dead cat. This is a cat who's just perturbed by being stuck in a submarine sandwich bun. And look at this attention to detail. Your plate and your bowl. Now, the plate isn't glossy, and I kind of wish it was, but the colors match. So it looks like they're matched. They could be a matched set from the Tanner's household. So there you go. Cat sandwich and Alf. Oh my gosh, this is a dream come true. This kind of pop culture icon, and you guys, Alf was huge. He hosted one of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parades, or I guess was kind of a guest host from a window. His importance to pop culture, he was a big deal, and I'm thrilled to have this representation. Maybe one of these days NECA can get around to making a Max Headroom figure. That would be incredible, even if it was just a head in a television set. But whatever the case, until then, we've got Alf, and he is wonderful. Thanks for watching, you guys. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things, and always check Tubi for your classic 80s television. Ha!
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.